Alright, hey, just wanted to talk about heroes and how I use them. I don't want to call this a guide because I don't know that I'm considered good enough at this game to be giving guides to people. But I can show you, I have beat the game and I have played it a ton and I can show you how I like to use heroes. And how it has worked for me. So, starting off with my favorite, which is the Plague Doctor. Now, if you're new to Darkest Dungeon 2, heroes have paths, so you can choose different, essentially, like builds for them. I really like the Alchemist because it improves the blight power of the Plague Doctor, which is where I think she really shines. Uh, but there are other options. All options are viable. Everything in this game is viable. It's just about what works in certain situations and what works for you. So, for skills, I generally this is the be all end all of the Plague Doctor. This and Battlefield Medicine. Plague Grenade, especially upgraded, and especially with like the noxious trinkets and stuff that give to plague or blight resist piercing and blight dealt, you can do massive damage with this, and it ignores shields. When you put a dot on someone, it ignores shields and all that type of stuff, and it just does damage over time. You know, that's free damage that even if you have to use a turn to heal someone, you're still doing damage that turn because you've poisoned them essentially. Noxious Blast hits the front line, the front two slots, and I like to keep that one on just because when the back line gets wiped out by Plague Grenade ultimately, because it's so effective to wiping out the back line, then I don't have to worry about them anymore and I can focus on the front. So that's just to help with essentially the same thing. This is great because it clears corpses, and corpses can definitely make fights harder if you can't hit the back line, or if it's a one of those worms that can eat corpses. There are many different enemies that eat corpses and can get more powerful moves from it, can heal themselves with it. So you just don't want corpses laying around for the most part, unless it's for some reason benefiting you by pushing someone back or whatever. Um, Indiscriminate Science is awesome because it removes negative tokens. It also removes your positive tokens. When upgraded, it removes negative tokens. But everything, you want to upgrade every skill that you're going to be using on a consistent basis. Removing negative tokens is huge, and it also heals. So it can really turn the tide for you. Incision is great. I sometimes like to keep that on for when the Plague Doctor gets knocked out of position. I generally like her to be in 4th position in the back, but sometimes enemies have skills that can move you around and can pull her forward. And she's much less effective in the front, but she can do incision from the front. Yeah, that's really, aside from cause of death, that's really the only, and buffing. That's the only thing she can do from the front row. So I like to keep that one in my back pocket. I obviously don't have it selected right now, but if I were to lose a hero or be fighting enemies that like to pull you forward, I will put that on as a safeguard, essentially. So, and then obviously Battlefield Medicine, like, you cannot get better than this. It heals as well as removing dot damage, and when it's upgraded, she removes the dot damage from herself as well as the person that she's healing. So that's huge. Ounce of Prevention is good. Again, if you're fighting things that do a lot of dot damage or disease, it's good to use. I have put it on, and I do feel like it does sometimes turn the tide, but it's one of those things that, like, I don't feel like I use it enough to keep it as a permanent on my bar. Cause of death, same thing. It's very good. It's just not something that I use all the time. I might end up switching Cause of Death for Noxious Blast. Like, those two are kind of interchangeable. They don't do exactly the same thing, but they're similar in that I like that this puts a combo token on too. Putting on combo tokens is what you want to be doing. Disorienting Blast is good. Again, I just don't use it enough to keep it on permanently, but it is very good. You want to do turn denial when you can. Same with Blinding Gas, also very good. Puts combo tokens on blinds and dazes in the upgraded form. So I do sometimes interchange some of these, but I would say I roll with on the regular. It depends on the party comp as well. If I have someone else who can clear corpses, I am not putting Magnesium Rain on. It's just a waste of a slot. If you already have someone that can clear corpses, because it doesn't do a lot of damage, it only puts 2 burn. Even upgraded, it only puts 3 burn. It's really just there to clear corpses. So, that, and this is, in my opinion, the best skin for the Plague Doctor. And my favorite weapon set is the Physician's. But I do have the Surgeon one on right now, just because it's goes with the skin. And I don't use it very often, but I do like the big saw blade. Okay, I will put some clips in of Plague Doctor in action. For now, that's it.